Instead of focusing on what you can't do, focus on what you can do. Okay? Dude, I can't tell you how many people I come across that tell me, dude, I would love to be sticking with jiu-jitsu. I'd love to be in the gym. I'd love to be doing all these things, but I got this back injury. I got this torn muscle, you name it. Any excuse as to why, maybe a past injury, they tore their shoulder, they hurt themselves in the gym, they go balls to the wall and then mess themselves up, and then they just stop going to the gym altogether. They stop training, they stop doing all the things. Guys, dude, I tore my right bicep jumping out of the plane. This muscle doesn't even contract anymore. I have nerve damage, lifelong nerve damage now. I've gone to doctor after doctor, neurologists from the top surgeons in the country, neurosurgeons from USC, UCLA, dude, you name it. I've gone everyone. And all of them have basically told me every surgery from here on out, there is slim to zero chance, probability wise, that a nerve graft, a nerve transplant would make me any stronger than I am currently today. In fact, most of them are extremely impressed when they see my bicep and the brachialis muscle taking over from the long head bicep being damaged, that I can actually even supinate my hand and grab things, that I can actually, most of the stuff I do in jiu-jitsu or at the gym is overhand pull. If I'm doing a pull motion, even with jiu-jitsu, I tend to go down with this arm and pull like a damn orangutan. So like supinating and going in the gym and doing bicep curls like back in the day, super into bodybuilding. I still do bodybuilding exercises. I'll do some triceps, some shoulders, and some chest, and the legs, and all of those things. However, my training style has completely evolved and adapted to accommodate this injury. And so instead of making excuses as to, well, I can no longer do curls for the girls, bicep curls in the gym, therefore I'm not going to go to the gym and stop taking care of myself. Everybody has setbacks, everybody has issues, but ultimately it's what you do once you encounter one of those setbacks. And if you haven't had a setback, you haven't had an injury, then you haven't been training long enough. It's inevitable. It will come. If you're training jiu-jitsu, you're boxing, martial arts, even weight training, you're going to injure yourself eventually. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Now, it's what you do after that that's going to determine whether you stay consistent and continue going and continue training beyond your 20s and into your 30s. I'm 33 years old now, and while it may be I'm not that old, I'm also not that young anymore. I'm not 20, 19, 18, 22, 23 anymore, where I could drink alcohol all night and then wake up at 5 a.m. and go run 5 miles in the military and go do a 12-mile ruck march. I have to be more intelligent with the way I train. So the point of the video here is everybody's going to have an injury. It's a matter of, what are you going to do when it happens? Are you going to make an excuse as to why you can no longer train? Or the alternative, are you going to figure it out? Are you going to make an excuse as to, well, I'd love to weight train, however, my back, my leg. And this goes into the argument of, should you continue training when you have an injury? Yes, but with the caveat, you should be training when you have an injury, but train intelligently. Okay, so for example, I have a bruised rib right now. I think, it kind of hurts when I breathe in. It was probably from jiu-jitsu. I was training with a couple of heavier weights, and I'm 175 pounds. Guy I was rolling with, most of the guys I roll with are 210, 220, 230, 240. They're big boys. And, if you make a wrong move, even though I'm a black belt, you're going to pay the price. They're heavy. So I think I bruised my rib. However, instead of today being Sunday and I bruised my rib on Wednesday, and it's been a few days, several days now, and it still kind of hurts, I could have made the excuse of, I'm not going to train today because, my rib hurts. And I still have an Achilles, something going on with my heel, feels a little bit tight. But again, the point is, I have these injuries and I still showed up to the gym today. These are minor injuries, nothing major like a torn bicep. But nonetheless, I still went to the gym. and I trained intelligently. Being 33 years old, I tend to warm up a little bit more before I go balls to the wall, blasting my heavier sets. And I also train differently. I'm not doing 3-4 sets bodybuilding style, destroy myself anymore, because I know ultimately I'd like to train the next day, whether that be jiu-jitsu or another weight training session. So instead, I approach it differently. Okay, I've got a bruised rib, my Achilles heel. I still went and did deadlifts. I still pulled 225, 315 for reps, but I only did 2 sets, 2 working sets, and then I walked away. Rather than doing 3, 4, 5 working sets like I used to, like a maniac. I did probably three or 4 warm-up sets before I went to the 315 to rep out for 5, 6 reps. And I probably could have done even more. I still conserved myself and let myself leave a few reps in the tank because I know that I have an injury. And so that comes to the question, should you push it every single time you go to the gym and absolutely destroy yourself? And mind you, this is easier said than done because I have this issue. I want to go to when I go to the gym, when I go train, I want to completely obliterate myself. I think I have a sickness. I like the pain of the feeling of accomplishment when you go all out and you leave it all on the table, like you leave nothing in the tank. However, I would argue that now that I'm older and I have some injuries and I still train hard, but you need to modify your intensity on different days. One day, and even when you're younger, if I had done this when I was younger, I probably could have avoided a lot of unnecessary injuries. Even if you're 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, you're in your mid to late 20s or early 20s, dude, follow this rule. You could train every day, give yourself 1 or 2 days a week to kind of reset still, let your central nervous system do its thing, reset. Maybe just go on a walk, go outside, go for a hike, something where you're still moving, stretch a little, whatever. Just something where you're keeping the body in motion, but don't go and blast weights every single day. I don't recommend it. Unless you're juicing, then that's a different subject. I've never done any of that. Well, in the future, I don't know, but probably not. I mean, maybe TRT down the road when I'm like 45 and I feel like I need it. But, dude, I'm 33. I still train all the time. My testosterone levels are still good. I don't feel like I need it yet. But maybe that could change. I do have 2 kids under 3, family responsibilities, a business, other endeavors, other things I want to accomplish, and it's a lot. So maybe down the road, I'm not going to say never, but for right now, completely natural, just taking creatine and protein supplements and eating as high of protein diet as possible, and that's about it. And it seems to be maximizing my natural potential and staying consistent with it for years. Back to the point of, guys, even if you're young, even if you're in your early 20s, late 20s, mid 20s, I don't care. You're even in your teens. If you can learn to modify your intensity on workouts, meaning maybe Mondays, you go balls to the wall, you go hard. Tuesday, still go train, but lower the volume or the intensity. Play with these variables. You know what I mean? And then Wednesday, you can come back in hard. And then Thursday, maybe come back in a little light. Friday, you could take it off. Saturday, you could take it off. And then Sunday, come back in full-blown intensity again. Everything you got, leave it all on the table. I'm just saying, think about it methodically rather than just, I'm going to go in there and destroy myself. Then I get injured. Then I get a setback. Then I am unmotivated to go train. Now you got a wrench in your gears and you lose your momentum. Be smart. Train hard, but also be smart. Train smart. Modify your intensity. Modify your volume to accommodate other things you're working on. Like for me with jiu-jitsu, I'm not doing 3-4 sets of every exercise anymore. For bodybuilding purposes, I'm literally just going in and doing 2 working sets, maybe 1 warm-up set and 2 working sets, and then go into the next exercise. The premise of the video is this: modify your intensity, play with the volume variables every week so that you can train more consistently. Pick a day that you're going to go balls to the wall, and then make sure you either have the next day, low intensity day, or it's a complete off day where you're just doing a walk, like a hike, something low intensity. You're still moving. Motion is lotion, but modify, play with the variables, your intensity and your volume, If you have an injury, you can still train, just be smart about it. Figure out how you can work around that injury, because I can't tell you how many people I've known that have started jiu-jitsu. Maybe they're a white belt, they're a blue belt, they injure themselves once, they're out, and then they never come back. And here they are, they put all this time and effort into wanting to become a black belt eventually, wanting to stay consistent with something, and they injure themselves, and they never show back up. So guys, everybody's going to get injured. It's inevitable. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And then how do you proceed after the injury? Be smart, train smart. Instead of focusing on what you can't do when you're injured, focus on what you can do. Guys, I hope this helps someone. Take these principles. I'm sure they're pretty obvious, but it's good to say these things out loud and hear it from someone else, because sometimes you might know this subconsciously, but now you're consciously aware of it and you can modify your workouts accordingly. So I hope this helps. Until the next one, let's get to work.